Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another week here on The Huddle.
And we still talk about football.
What a surprise. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, however many weeks ago did it, we did the second part of our QB prep, whenever every quarterback, expectations for this next upcoming season, compared to what they did last year, all that stuff. This week, though, this is where the fun begins. I think this is probably my favorite part of our podcast. It's prediction time.
Woo!
Over the next 8 weeks or so, however long this takes with traveling and vacation and work, whatever, we're going to be going through each division on both conferences and then have an entire episode dedicated to playoffs and our predictions for those. Last year, Elijah predicted the Super Bowl, right? You got it right.
I did, yes. Chiefs.
I had a better rate, I guess, of games predicted, but
if you still count that, I mean,
what?
If you still count that, I mean, what really matters more, my Super Bowl or a few things you got right?
Well, go back and watch that episode because I clearly won the prediction. All right, well, before we get way too far into this episode, just two quick things I think for NFL news. I guess there's a couple things. T. Higgins, he's expected to sign that franchise tag. I think he just did with the Bengals, so he'll be staying there. The Falcons, they got docked a 5th-round pick, and they got fined $250,000 for tampering.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence got paid.
A ton of money?
Yeah. Too much, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the top 3 quarterbacks, paying wise, Joe Burrow, Goff, and Lawrence, and one of them is the top 3 QB.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Calais Campbell, he is signing with the Dolphins.
Yes, yep.
I blinked there for a second, sorry. And then I think that might be it.
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, yeah.
Released a video of him saying to his friend or whoever it was on the video.
It was Jaden Daniels, actually.
Was it Jaden Daniels?
Yeah.
I didn't notice who it was. Actually, that's my QB1. Yeah, but who knows? Maybe a return to Washington or a return with Daniels played at Arizona State together. But obviously, he said that they don't want him anymore. So kind of feel bad for the guy, but whatever.
Oh well.
Yeah, that's your NFL news. It's time for the fun part.
Woo!
It is time to start. We're going to start with the AFC East.
Nice.
On our predictions. Going to go through the overall records for each team, their divisional record. After we say their record, do you think we could do better? They could do better or worse than that prediction? And then, of course, 1 or 2 games you think are the most important this year for this team. So let's start it off with last year's divisional winners. Buffalo Bills, Elijah.
Okay, so I have them going 10-7.
Okay.
And that will do enough to win the division. I think I don't like as much as what they've done this offseason. They've really got rid of a lot of good players, and they're kind of not great in the receiving group. But they still got Josh Allen, and overall it's still a good team, especially compared to the
flat out in the league.
Yeah. And compared to like the rest of the East, I think they're pretty set. And I think for me, like the most important games for the Bills would just be like the Jets and Dolphins games, because I think they'll give them, those are like the hardest competitors, especially for the East. And really it's almost like, for me, it's almost like a win and loss away from them not getting it just from those Dolphins and Jets games. So yeah, that would be my important games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I have the Bills as well going 10-7. They're going 4-2 in divisional games. I honestly think they could do better than 10-7. Well, once you said, like as you said, they made some questionable decisions over the offseason. and I just don't know how much I see this team being able to be carried week in and week out on just the offense of James Cook and Josh Allen. Biggest game I think for me is a lot after that bye week. They got San Francisco, LA, Chargers, Detroit. So those 3 weeks are huge. I have them losing all 3 of those games in a row and then bouncing back with 3 straight wins at the end of the season against New England twice and the Jets once. But I think after that bye week, that final stretch of the season is going to be what's most important. If they could pull out a win against Detroit or against the Rams, maybe upset the 49ers, I think they could take the division. As of right now, though, I have them sitting second. But we'll get to
nice
the division champ later.
Oh, real quick, what is their? I think we did this maybe last year or so, but like, what's their longest like win streak, or maybe longest streak overall? I guess
longest streak overall.
Yeah.
It would. Oh crap! Okay, from week 6 to week 10, I have them winning 5 games in a row. They're going to beat the Jets, Tennessee, Seattle, Miami, Indianapolis.
Well, here's the funny thing for me. Week 6 to week 11 is all wins for me. So I just have them beating KC.
Win against KC.
Yeah, I just have them winning KC.
Honestly, I'd love to see that. I just don't know. I mean, the Chiefs got better and the Bills got worse.
I just think the Bills usually have their number in the regular season, and then when the playoff comes, you know how that goes. So
All right, let's get on to the next team. They took second in the division last year. A terrible, disappointing first round exit in the wild card last year against the Chiefs. It's the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniels, Tua Tagovailoa, A-Chain, Mostert, Hill, Waddle. You get the idea. This is a good offense.
It's speedy. Yeah. All right, you want to go first for this one? Since I went first.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll go first.
All right.
Dolphins, they're going to take top of the division. They're going to finish at 11-6. They're also going to go 4-2 in the division. I think they could do better than 11-6 as well. Biggest game of the year. It's going to be 2 weeks in a row. It's going to be week 15 and week 16, Houston and San Francisco. I have them losing both of those games. If they could pull off a win with either of those, they could maybe sneak into the maybe first or second seed in the AFC, which would obviously give them home field advantage, which I think they're praying for after basically being frozen the last game of their season. So the biggest thing I think for Miami this year would be maybe obviously win the division and get a home playoff game, because they want to be in the sunshine. They want to be home. They want to have their fans behind them. So if they're aiming for the playoffs, which I think they should make, they want a home playoff game. And then the longest streak for them is going to be weeks 1 through 5. Right before that bye week, they're going to win 5 straight games.
I have that too.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Honestly, it's a somewhat simple start to that season.
Honestly, yeah.
But I think they might end up losing maybe 2 of those games. I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped one to Jacksonville, Buffalo, or Seattle.
Yeah, even Tennessee. I wouldn't.
Tennessee.
Yeah, New England's kind of a lock. Let's be honest.
We'll get to that in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But man, I'm so excited to watch Tennessee this year.
Yeah. I have them at 8 and 9. Which is crazy.
Really?
I know. I'm just not a Tua believer that much, and I'm not a Mike McDaniel believer. I love the dude. I think he's hilarious, but I'm just not sold on Mike McDaniel right now. Because of the last few seasons, they're squeaking in the playoff spot, but they're not doing anything after it. They start out pretty good. Like I said, they win the first 5 games into the bye, but then they just basically lose after that. They only win 3 after the first 5 games of the season. So
dude, I mean, unless you're right because a Tyreek injury happens or something, I don't know, dude. I mean, I feel like it's either Tua's gonna put up MVP numbers again, or he's not gonna be on the Dolphins after this season.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the only thing that could happen. But I mean, we named off those guys right before we started talking about them: Hill, Waddle, A-Chain, Mostert. I mean, this is a good offense.
Yeah, the problem is a lot of them have a lot of injury history. I mean, look at Tua. Look at Waddle, I think he got hurt last year. Tyreek got hurt last year. Mostert's been hurt a lot of times in his career.
A
A-Chain
ton
was
of
hurt last
time.
year, so it's
Right, and I understand your point, but I don't think there's any team in the NFL that has Tyreek Hill when you're going under 500, unless you're the Panthers or Giants.
yeah. I mean, it's not even that. I just think the Dolphins are a team. Maybe it's coaching staff, but they are a team that can easily lose to a bad team and easily win against a good team. But I just think I don't see them beating. Let's see, Buffalo again. Um, Green Bay, I have them ranked high. I got the Jets beating them. I got Houston beating them. San Francisco, Cleveland, and like bad teams like Vegas. I can see them easily losing to Vegas
Right.
and the Rams
No,
are good too.
they
So
definitely were one of those teams when I was going through each game thinking like, all right, well, they probably could lose this game, or they would
yeah,
be the team to get upset here. No,
yeah,
I completely understand your point there for
yeah,
sure.
and they could easily be like I don't know whatever. What was your record again? They could easily be that. I do
They
agree.
finished at 11-6.
Yeah, like you just mentioned, they have a great players. It's just I'm not a huge believer in the coaching staff yet,
Okay.
or in Tua, and they go 2-4 in the division, and yeah, 8-9 was my final record. So still
Okay.
not bad, but not great. So moving on
All right, well,
to
I don't keep on yapping
yeah
and carry it over to the next one.
yeah
New York Jets.
um
What a disappointing season
yeah.
they had this year.
I mean
You did turn things around though, and I mean, look at right there, week 1, dude. It's like Aaron Rodgers'
yeah
arch nemesis, San Fran. What's happening that week?
yeah. So just to start out, the Jets franchise has known disappointment from the dawn of time. But anyway,
They had a few bright years with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
yeah, and I mean, obviously they won the Super Bowl, like Super Bowl
Once.
3, was it? Yeah. But anyway, they've had some good times, but they have also had a lot more bad times. Anyway, so I actually had them doing. I think I originally had them going. I think it was 11-6 or 10-7, but I had to change it afterwards, and I
Okay.
decided that I'm going to have them go 9-8.
There we go.
And 4-2 in the division, just
Oh.
because, yeah, they still do well in the division, but just 9-8 overall. San Francisco, they're gonna lose. Aaron Rodgers, he can't do that. I think they're gonna win against mostly the bad teams like Denver and Tennessee and stuff, but they can easily lose to New England and Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Houston. Even I got them losing to Seattle. Most of their wins come from their division, which is kind of crazy. But Aaron Rodgers is doing stupid stuff again this offseason, and I don't. Coach Saleh is not a good coach, and I'm going to say that.
Yeah, he's on the hot seat.
Yeah,
for sure.
he'll probably be the first coach fired if you ask me.
I would not be surprised. For me, I have them finishing a close record. I have them 10-7, going 2-4 in the division though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just don't know with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you're taking a year off, and then you're coming right back in.
He's not even coming right back in though, because he's just skipping mandatory stuff. So it's like
right, exactly. But then you look at it's crazy to think, but Sauce, Garrett Wilson, and Breece Hall are all entering year 3.
Yeah.
But at this point with the Jets, they are the 3 focal points of this team.
Yeah.
They're who they're going to try to build off of in the future.
Yeah.
So I think Aaron Rodgers has a decent supporting cast around him.
Oh, I agree.
But I'm not. I'll just spoil this for you. For me, 10-7 is not enough for the Jets to make the playoffs.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
I think the AFC right now is much more competitive than the NFC. I think the NFC has like the big dogs, like who's going to make the playoffs in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think the AFC is more competitive, and even a record that's not bad at all, like 10-7, is not going to be enough to get Aaron Rodgers into the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I do have them making the playoffs at the 7th seed.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, let's go on to the next trash team, the New England Patriots. What's going on with you over there, Levi?
Yeah, this is. I think this was the worst record for me.
Oh wow.
Just the first episode. So I have the Patriots at a depressing 2-15.
Wow.
I think Jared Mayo it's going to take him at least 2 or 3 seasons to maybe get the hang of things.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be one of those really, really bad good player, bad coach situations.
Yeah.
Drake May, I mean, we don't know until we see him take a snap. But when you got Juju Smith-Schuster, I'm trying to think who else.
That's your point made right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad, dude. It is bad. I think they still got Hunter Henry.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. When's the last time he's been a top receiver, tight end?
Hey, they beat the Dolphins or the Bills with Hunter Henry.
Okay.
Anyways, it's ugly. It is ugly in New England. And then the streak for them, I gotta count because there's a lot of L's.
Okay.
Weeks 1 through 7, they don't win a game. They beat the Jets week 8.
Oh wow.
And they have another streak of losing 7 in a row. They play Tennessee in I think week 9, and then up until they win against the Chargers on week 17. Other than that,
well,
go New England.
Yeah.
That's dynasty of the 2010s.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I have them very similar, 3-14. And I just give them wins over their division. They split the division 3-3. I still think they. When's the last time they actually lost the Jets? I don't know if they lost last year, but usually they're pretty good at beating the Jets. So I give them their first win, week 3 at New York, and they win that. And then they have a week 4 through week 11 losing streak, and then they beat Miami and Buffalo, and that's it. 3-14. You basically said all the main points for New England. They're not a good team.
No, not at all.
No.
So for me, Dolphins number 1 in the AFC East at 11-6. Bills take number 2 at 10-7. Jets take 3 at 10-7, and the Patriots take 4 at 2-15. The only difference between the two is those divisional wins, which put the Bills over the Jets.
Okay. I have Bills at 10-7 first, Jets 2 at 9-8, Dolphins 3 at 8-9, and then Patriots 4th at 3-14. So yeah. Actually, I'm not going to spoil too much, but they were my worst division in the AFC. It's kind of crazy.
Really?
But, yeah.
Yeah, they might have been. No, there's definitely a division worse than that.
All right.
I think we all know what division that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, what are you expecting? I guess from this division, would you be surprised if the Bills ended up, or what do you think the Bills would have to do to win the division this year?
Well, overall, your first part, what am I expecting from this division is not a lot. I just think a lot of losing. Like I said, this is my worst division, and I don't think they're that good.
You're not like expecting like a runaway.
No.
You think it's gonna be equally as pretty
Yeah,
good?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Except, the Patriots are just gonna suck. They're not gonna have a chance. It's gonna come close, but I just think just the last couple of weeks will definitely put the Bills up on top.
For sure. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like those last 3 weeks, so 3 divisional games for the Bills.
Yeah,
So,
and the Dolphins have a tough last couple of weeks. I mean, starting with week 13, Green Bay, then the Jets, then Houston, San Fran.
Well, if you're starting with the tough schedule, we should go back to week 3 when they start playing Seattle.
Well, no, that's kind of the easier part of the schedule. If you, yeah. All right. Anyway, my point is Green Bay through New York, which is their last week 18. It's kind of a tough end of the schedule. So that is. I
have them going 2-4 from that stretch.
Yeah, I think yeah, same with me. So
yeah, that's where I'm like, you have to put the coaches into some play here. Obviously, that helps determine if a team sucks or not.
Yeah.
But whenever you're looking at Sean McDermott compared to Mike McDaniel, I feel like that, and then you add Robert Saleh into this, I feel like that's what's definitely holding the Jets back. from winning the division. I just don't know. This is definitely, I think this was the trickiest
Yeah.
division, just in terms of like trying to predict games. I feel like the AFC North was definitely tough.
Yeah.
But for sure, this one, it's just always an interesting
Right.
division because,
Right.
I mean, dude, 4 or 5 seasons ago, it was Patriots were the #1 team. There was no doubt about that. And
Yeah.
then it was fighting over whether or not the Dolphins would make the playoffs. And now we're even saying, can the Dolphins make the playoffs with a crappy 10-7 record, like you're saying? Right? Oh no, you said the Bills are going to finish 10-7.
Yeah. The Bills. Yeah. Bills are 10-7 top.
Right.
So I don't know if it's just me that I'm thinking this, or you might think opposite, but I don't. I think a lot of these coaches are like in a like bad. I'm just gonna say that bad. Not Sean McDermott's been a good coach, but he's kind of like in the Mike Tomlin situation where he gets to the playoffs, but he's not very successful when it comes to playoffs. And maybe
Yeah,
it's
well,
just
I
because
wouldn't
of the
even call
Chiefs.
him
And that.
unsuccessful in the playoffs. They just play the Chiefs all the time.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a fair point. I'll
And
give you that.
and it's not even that he's making the wrong decisions. I honestly can't think of a call. Okay, no, I can think of a call that screwed them. 4th and 3 to DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah. So.
All right, that was pretty bad. Oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot about that. But even if you look at that game, that Diggs drop on 3rd down, and then the missed kick by Tyler Bass. You go back a couple more seasons in that crazy game where they scored like 100 points in the last 13 seconds. There was nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
So I don't think McDermott's a terrible coach. I think he can get the job done. I don't know. I think he missed his chance. We talked about this last year halfway through the season, that it was the Bills do or die. They had their chance, and they wide righted it away.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, they honestly could have maybe won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And now it looks like Josh Allen is just kind of out there to dry. James Cook started the breakout at the end of the last season once they fired their OC. And I don't know if I agree with the statement or not that I'm about to say, but I feel like the Bills might do better through the passing offense without Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
I think he's definitely a distraction, definitely a crybaby.
But
so
they also lost Gabe Davis, who's been a key part of that too. So
for sure. But Gabe Davis was the most bipolar player in this league. I mean,
that's true.
he'd have 2 catches for -5 yards or 8 catches for 170 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean,
yeah, I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be an absolute steal in fantasy football, but that wasn't.
He was. Half the time.
Yeah, half of the time.
If you looked at his stats, he was literally a boom or bust. That was it.
Yeah.
Was whatever, 11.6 points.
Yeah.
But you look, Shakir, he looked promising.
Yeah.
I hate him for that play. It's just in the playoffs, but he looked promising.
Yeah.
And he and Coleman, dude.
Yeah, and they got Curtis Samuel, so
we got Kurt.
Don't count him out.
I love Curtis Samuel, but he's kind of old.
Yeah, right? No, he hasn't really done much, but still. All right.
Well, that's it for the AFC East.
Yeah.
Once again, for Levi, Dolphins, Bills, Jets, Pats. That's the standings for me. Elijah, you had Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Pats.
Yep. Correct. Okay. And go.
Well, that's it for today's episode. Next week, we are gonna bring on a guest for the AFC North. It was actually the new division for Hard Knocks during the 2024 season. What's that? On HBO Max. I'm gonna act like we're sponsored by them, and hopefully we can make some money. I'm kidding.
No.
Anyways, bring on a guest for that. That is basically just one giant steel curtain show episode because all things in the AFC North went back to their daddy.
Yep.
And that's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Happy Father's
Day. That is
Day.
Coming to you next week. We thank you for listening. I am Levi Jenkins alongside here with Elijah Coer. This is The Huddle. We'll be with you throughout the rest of the summer into the season. And we'll see you guys all next week.
Peace.